In this Nanosermon, we'll try to solve an apparent puzzle of timing in the creation narrative of Genesis chapter 1. It's to do with light and the sun. Here's verse 3. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. So on day 1, God made light. Now look at this on day 4, in verse 14. And God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years, and let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth." And it was so. And God made 2 great lights, the greater light to rule the day and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. Here's the puzzle. Why does the Bible say God created light on day 1 and the sun and moon on day 4? Some skeptics have suggested Genesis is just wrong because of this. Others say God made the sun on the first day but didn't put it in place until day 4. Still others suggest God made some other source of light on day 1 and replaced it with the sun on day 4. For me, that all feels a bit contrived. Interestingly, so I'm told, all other creation stories in other religions have the sun made first, giving the light. Only the Hebrew account has light there before the sun. But I'm going to suggest to you that the account in Genesis, the Hebrew account, is correct and shows us something both mysterious and rather clever. Now, we think of light as something the sun makes, which is then reflected off the moon to govern the day and the night. Historically, people used to light a candle or an oil lamp at night time. That would bring some light. Today we flick a switch and a light comes on. But it's really a lamp, as are the lights which the King James Version calls the sun and the moon. The actual Hebrew word for light, as in verses 3 to 5, is the word or, which means light itself. The Hebrew word for things like the sun and the moon is ma'or, which means a luminous body, something which emits light. That's what the lamp you switch on is. Indeed, modern lamps have LEDs, which are light-emitting diodes. The statement of light being created on day 1 and the sun and the moon and stars on day 4 of creation now makes sense. The light of verse 3 is the stuff itself, while the great lamps in verses 14 to 16 are the bright things that make it or reflect it. The famous physicist Michio Kaku says, "We physicists are the only scientists who can say the word God and not blush." That's because they're always face to face with mystery. For example, physicists have determined that light is a waveform. You can split ordinary white light into the familiar colours of the rainbow. But they say that light also behaves as little particles or quantums of energy. It's a wave and particles at the same time. The God we serve has created light with those essential dual properties on day 1 of creation. That's an awesome thought. Now perhaps we can view the light of verse 3 as standing for the laws of nature as a whole. In this view, God set up the necessary foundational structure of the whole of creation as his first created act. He's an amazing God who created light in the very beginning and maintains it today by his word and his power.